heavenly idea for dessert. Coming right up on Weekend at the Cottage. Welcome to Weekend at the Cottage. I'm Nick Manojlovic, about to share one of my favorite dessert recipes. Before I launch into it, a reminder to please visit weekendatthecottage.com. When you visit our website, please subscribe to it. After that, why not head to our dedicated YouTube channel, now with over 300 videos for you to enjoy. Finally, look for us on one or more of your favorite social media platforms using #weekendatthecottage on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. When made properly, it is the stuff of legends. It is airy, light, fluffy, almost cloud-like. This one and only angel food cake can be yours. Follow my step-by-step guide. It's really fantastic. I'm using a recipe from my mom's recipe box. Actually, her recipe looked pretty good, except my mother didn't put a quantity for flour in. Thankfully, my sister Maria also had a version of this fantastic cake. Before I get started with the recipe, a quick review on some of the things you're gonna need to do in advance. You're gonna need to pick a tube pan. 10-inch tube pans are what you'd like. You can get them now where the middle part of the tube pan comes away. I kind of like the old traditional solid version. I think they work better, and you'll see when I make the cake how perfectly it comes out of this. A thing I found a couple of years ago is a cake cutter, and this multi-pronged little doohickey, complete with Bakelite handle, leaves a really lovely kind of way of slicing your angel food. Because it's so moist and fluffy, this is fantastic. Before we start assembling our cake, we're gonna preheat our oven to 375 degrees. Rack is in the middle position. Now a quick discussion about flour and sugar. For this cake to work, your flour and icing sugar both need to be sifted in advance. You're gonna need 1 cup of cake flour, so I measured out about a cup, then I sift it, and then I have to re-measure it to that cup complement. And remember, when you're going to measure, we're not scooping this into the sifted flour. Instead, we're taking a spoon and we're gonna transfer. We don't want that flour to compress again. So first thing we need is 1 cup of sifted cake flour. We also need 1.5 cups of sifted icing sugar. Same process, we place about 1.5 cups into a sifter, we sift away, and then you're spooning the sugar into a measuring cup to get that 1.5 cups complement. We then take that flour and sugar that's just been sifted, combine them, and we sift them again. On Maria's recipe card, it says to sift twice. I actually did it 3 times just to be sure. And by sifting, we're keeping the density level light, which is gonna be perfect for how this cake turns out. We can shift our sifted sugar and flour mixture to the side. Whew, tongue twister. Now we're gonna talk about eggs. The recipe is calling for 1.5 cups of egg white. So that's a bit unusual, right? Normally when we work with the recipe, it's like you need 10 egg whites or you need 4 egg yolks or something like that. Instead, it's a volume measurement of 1.5 cups of egg whites. We're gonna crack our eggs, remove the yolks, and then you're starting to build that complement. Very important. If you make a mistake and you get even the tiniest bit of egg yolk in your whites, it'll never whip. If that happens, stop the recipe and go back and start again. This needs to be 100% 1.5 cups of pure egg whites. Egg whites are into a large stainless bowl, and I like using a large bowl for this recipe because we're going to be folding in a number of ingredients in a moment. We're adding 1.5 teaspoons of cream of tartar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, hand mixer, and we're going to blend those ingredients until your egg whites get light and foamy. Keep blending, and now we have a complement of 1 cup of granulated sugar. Add a tablespoon at a time, and you continue to whip your egg whites in this fashion. They're starting to get a nice volume. We continue to add that granulated sugar little by little. These whipped egg whites are now forming beautiful, stiff peaks. Look at that, perfect. Next thing we need to do is to add some flavor. We're adding 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. That's pretty nice. But the thing about this cake I most enjoy, 1 teaspoon of pure almond extract. Add the 2 extracts, and then with a spatula, look at how we're folding them into the egg whites. Now it's time to add our sifted icing sugar flour mixture. We have our little sifting basket. We're gonna add about 2 tablespoons and just lightly tap it across across the top and gently fold in that flour mixture into your egg whites. Take your sifter, add a little bit more of that flour icing sugar mixture, and again, just tap lightly across the top. I want you to think of this as like you're folding these ingredients into clouds. We can't let it sink. We've got to go really nice, lightly, just fold gently back with our sifter. And you're going to continue to do this until all of your ingredients are used. It should still be quite light and fluffy. Now we spoon our cake batter into the tube pan. When you're spooning it in, push it up nice and close to the sides. Don't push down, just push it till it comes to the center of the tube and to the sides. Last thing, this is very important, we're taking a knife and I'm running a knife through the batter of the cake. In case there's any little kind of air pockets, this will remove them. The knife takes them away, right? You can't hit this pan on the counter like you sometimes do with cakes. No, we need the volume to be up. We're going to transfer to the preheated 375-degree oven. We're gonna bake our angel food cake for exactly 35 minutes. Once it's done, you'll take it out of the oven. The top is beautifully golden. You can feel the density of it. Very important step. I have a wire rack on the work surface. Immediately, we invert the pan, and now this is such a great concept, right? The angel food cake is clinging to the pan and it's doing something wonderful with gravity. Instead of the cake sinking down, if we let it cool this way, by inverting it, the cake is hanging. It cools for 1 hour. After that hour moment, we're going to take our cake, run a sharp knife along the inside, a sharp knife around the inside of the chimney. You have an attractive service piece. I invert the pan, take a tea towel, and just tap the top with a spoon. This is that big moment. I'm holding the pan and the plate, and then with 1 or 2 quick, boom, it releases, it comes down on your plate. Lift away the pan and marvel at your accomplishment. I like to decorate angel food with some sort of beautiful fruit. I happen to find these beautiful red currants. I thought they were perfect across the top. It looks very beautiful. I can then take our cutter into the angel food. It is coming away without effort. This is a very light and airy cake. You should have no problem cutting it. I think ultimately though, when you go to enjoy, you'll see it's all about, the color, it's white like a cloud. The texture is fantastic. You can just grab a tiny bit on your fork. One thing, you're gonna love the fragrance of this. It is so beautiful. There is nothing in the world, well, maybe outside of this world, like an angel food cake. This dessert is truly heavenly. We hope you make it, and after that, come on back and visit Weekend at the Cottage again. We always have something amazing in the works for you to enjoy. Thanks so much. Take care.